Hey guys, this is chapter 3, Nutrition for Wellness. So preparing most meals at home is one of the surest ways to eat a healthier and enjoy a longer, more productive and better life. If you feel that you don't have time to cook healthy meals or you don't care to cook a healthy meal, sooner or later you'll learn you have to make time to treat and care for illness and disease. So this is one of the longest chapters out of all the book. We're going to need to learn how to define nutrition and its relationship to health and well-being. We're going to learn how to use myplate.com. The functions of the nutrients, carbs, all those wonderful things we need to incorporate in our diet, and define various energy production mechanisms of the human body. We're going to learn how to conduct a comprehensive nutrient analysis and implement changes to meet DRIs. We're going to identify myths and fallacies regarding nutrition, become aware of guidelines for nutrient supplementation, and learn the dietary guidelines for Americans 2010. Proper nutrition is linked to overall health and well-being. Good nutrition means that a person's diet supplies the essential nutrients needed to carry out normal tissue growth and repair, and it also supplies enough substrates to fuel all body processes. Nutrients should be attained from a wide variety of sources. MyPlate provides nutrition guidelines and recommended daily food amounts according to the various caloric requirements. Too much or too little of any nutrient can precipitate serious health problems. Our typical U.S. diet is too high in calories, sugar, saturated fats, and sodiums, and not enough in whole grains, fruits, and veggies. So this is a recommended daily amounts for veggies, fruits, grains, proteins, and dairy for men and women, and it's divided into age groups. And I would like for you to see whether or not you fall short or if you give yourself too much of the RDAs. So the typical American diet consists of too high in calories, sugar, saturated fat, and sodium, too low in whole grains, fruits, and veggies. The problem is overconsumption of the wrong foods, leading to diseases of dietary excess and imbalance, coronary heart disease, and diabetes. Your essential nutrients by function are your fuel nutrients, which are carbs, fats, and proteins. Your regulatory, which are your vitamins, minerals, and waters. You're going to need to know the difference between a macronutrient and a micronutrient. So macronutrients are your carbs, fats, proteins, and waters, and your micros are your vitamins and minerals. Depending on the amount of nutrients and number of calories they contain, foods can be classified by their nutrient density. High, which is good for you, low, which is bad for you, also known as junk food. Calorie is a unit of measure indicating the energy value of food to the person who consumes it. And the amount of heat necessary to raise the temperature of 1 kilogram of water by 1 degree Celsius. Before I go into carbohydrates, I need to remind you guys, do not just rely on these PowerPoints alone. Please use the outline that I provided you with. It's full of detail, as well as your online book that you're supposed to purchase for $20. Make sure you use those tools. They're very important resources for you, especially when it comes to taking the test. Carbohydrates are the major source of calories the body uses to provide energy for work, maintain cells, and generate heat. They help regulate fat and metabolize protein, and they provide 4 calories per gram. There are 2 major categories your carbohydrates are going to be divided into: your simple carbs, which are your sugars, and your complex carbs, which are your polysaccharides. Your simples are going to be your glucose, fructose, and galactose, and your complex are going to be your starches, dextrins, and glycogen. Your complex carbohydrate, remember, is a polysaccharide. It is either a starch or dextrin or glycogen. And I think I accidentally said dextrin, but it's dextrin. And there's a cute little example right here on your slide, what a simple carb is and what a complex carb is. Fiber is a form of complex carbohydrate. Dietary fiber is present mainly in plant leaves, skins, roots, and seeds. The main sources of fiber are whole grain cereals and breads, fruits, vegetables, and legumes. And the RDIs for adults, males under 50 is 38 grams per day, women under 50, 25. Fats are the most concentrated energy source in the body. It's 9 calories per gram. It's also used for human cell structure, insulation of the body, absorbing shock, supplying essential fatty acids, and delivering the fat-soluble volumes A, D, E, and K. There are three main groups of fats: simple, compound, and derived. Simple fats, you have your mono, your di, and your triglycerides. Your compounds, which are phospho, gluco, and lipoproteins, phospholipids, glucolipids, and lipoproteins, and derived fats, which are your sterols, your cholesterols. Over the next 5 slides, you'll be learning about saturated fats, unsaturated fats, polyunsaturated fats, specific types of fatty acids, and compound fats and lipoproteins. I will be putting a star by the places or things that you need to know. If you have any problems, just review your outline and your book. Lipoproteins are especially important because they transport fats in the blood. You need to know the difference between the high-density lipoproteins, which are associated with a lower risk for heart disease, and low-density lipoproteins, which have been linked to increase the risk for this disease. Also know that derived fats are combinations of simple and compound fats. Proteins are used to build and repair much of the body structure, including muscles, bloods, internal organs, skin, hair, nails, and bones. They form a part of hormones, antibodies, and enzymes. They can be used for energy if sufficient carbohydrates are not available. The main sources are meats and alternatives, milks, and other dairy products. There are 20 amino acids used to form different types of protein. 9 essential amino acids must be obtained from food because the body cannot produce them. 11 non-essential amino acids can be manufactured in the body if enough nitrogen is eaten. And here's a table of the amino acids, the 20 amino acids, the essential and non-essential. Complete proteins supply all the essential amino acids. Incomplete are missing one or more of the essential amino acids. You can also do complementing proteins, which you are consuming different foods to provide you all the essential amino acids. You need to limit your red meat consumption because that'll decrease the chance of premature death. Also, daily consumption of beef, poultry, or fish should be limited to 3 or 6 ounces. Vitamins are used for normal bodily metabolism, growth, and development. Fat solubles A, D, E, and K, and water soluble B complex and C. Most are not manufactured in the body, so they're required in the diet. These include vitamins B complex, E, and C. However, vitamins A, D, and K are formed in the body. There are approximately 25 minerals. They are contained in all cells, especially those in bones, nails, and teeth. They help maintain water balance and acid-base balance. They're essential components of respiratory pigments, enzymes, and enzyme systems. And they also help regulate muscular and nervous tissue impulses, blood clotting, and normal heart rhythm. Water is the most important nutrient. 61% of body weight in men and 56% of body weight in women is water. It's involved in almost every vital body process. It's contained in almost all food, and people are getting enough water from liquids such as milks, juices, sodas, coffee, and moisture content of solid foods. The NAS guidelines for distributing daily caloric intake are as follows. 45 to 65% of total calories come from carbohydrates, 20 to 35% from fat, 10 to 35% from protein, and up to 35% to accommodate individuals with metabolic syndrome. And this is the approximate portions of nutrients in the human body. We have example of male and female here, where carbohydrates, minerals, proteins, fats, and water, and how they're distributed amongst men and women. Here's another chart where we have the current percentage of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, and the recommended percentage of fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. The Dietary Reference Intakes, DRIs, were developed by the NAS for healthy people in the US and Canada. There's types of reference values. You have the EAR, the AI, the UL, and your outline contains greater detail, so I suggest you look at those so it won't be as confusing. Daily values are reference values for nutrients and food components for use on food labels. Nutrient analysis includes measurements of calories, carbohydrates, fats, proteins, cholesterol, sodium, vitamins, and minerals. Some of the most revealing information learned in a nutrient analysis is the source of fat intake in the diet. Looking at only the total grams consumed for each type of food can be misleading. 1 gram of carbohydrates provides 4 calories. 1 gram of protein provides 4 calories. 1 gram of fat provides 9 calories. 1 gram of alcohol yields 7 calories. A well-balanced diet entails eating a variety of nutrient-dense foods and monitoring total daily caloric intake. My Plate Healthy Eating Guide contains 5 major food groups. The food groups are vegetables, fruits, grains, proteins, and dairy. These provide the nutritional base for a healthy diet. Vegetarianism relies primarily on foods from the bread, cereal, rice, pasta, and fruit and vegetable groups. They avoid most foods from the animal source in the dairy and protein groups. These are the types of vegetarians on this first slide, and the next 2 slides are basically talking to you about the nutrient concerns when you do decide to take a different type of diet or eating lifestyle. Nuts, their fat composition is 60 to 90%. Most of this is healthy unsaturated fats. They're an excellent source of vitamin E and magnesium, and they also provide selenium, folate, vitamin K, beta-carotene, phosphorus, copper, potassium, zinc, and many phytonutrients. Soy products are rich in plant protein, unsaturated fat, and fiber. Some soy is high in calcium. They contain plant chemicals that act as antioxidants and protect against estrogen-related cancers. Human studies are still inconclusive, but tend to favor a slight protective effect in premenopausal women. Probiotics are healthy microbes that help break down foods and prevent disease-causing microorganisms from settling in the intestines. They're found to offer protection against gastrointestinal infections, boost immune activity, and help fight against certain types of cancer. Advanced glycation end products. They're found in foods that are cooked in dry heat at high temperature. Moderation is suggested in consuming these products, and fewer AGEs are found in braising, steaming, stewing, roasting, boiling, and poaching forms of cooking. The Mediterranean diet is a dietary pattern that has existed for centuries. It has gained attention recently because people in that region have lower rates of diet-linked diseases and longer life expectancy. Other ethnic diets also provide health benefits by emphasizing intake of complex carbs and limited fat intake. Nutrient requirements can be met using MyPlate and as few as 1,500 calories of food. People should not take megadoses of vitamins and minerals. Excess water-soluble vitamins are readily excreted. Excess fat-soluble vitamins are stored in fatty tissues and can be toxic. Who may need nutritional supplements? Well, women more commonly have iron deficiency. Adults over the age of 60 are encouraged to take a multivitamin, and others that may not have a balanced diet and require supplementation. Antioxidants are compounds such as vitamin C and E, beta-carotene, and selenium. They absorb free radicals before they can cause damage and interrupt the sequence of reactions once damage has begun, thwarting certain chronic diseases. They work best as prevention and disease during progression, and they cannot repair existing damage. 4 of the possibly 4,000 antioxidants in foods are vitamin C, vitamin E, beta-carotene, and selenium. They're found abundantly in food, especially in fruits and veggies. Multivitamins are the preferred supplement of Americans. They provide 100% of the DV for most nutrients and help fill certain dietary deficiencies. Vitamin D can be synthesized through exposure to sunshine, and you can take a supplement during winter months. Folate is recommended for women of childbearing age.